This is not a manufactured reunion battle. Rather, it is a real-life jail time drama. How did we go from this reality TV drama to a full-fledged crime scenario where Mendeecees and Kirk Frost got into a heated argument? Mona Scott Young. Was it because of Yandy Kendra or because someone had had enough of Kirk's constant nonsense? Eyewitnesses said that punches were thrown, furniture flew, and security was unable to stop the brawl. Kirk and I are currently facing severe legal issues. Did Yandy bail and leave? Is Rashida finally done with Kirk permanently? Where was young Jock during all of this chaos? Oh, don't even go. We have all the information in the leaked video, and you won't believe what we have. Truly went down, so have a seat, press the like button, and let's talk about Kirk Frost and Insanity Me's. These two individuals already have enough baggage to cover a whole season of love and hip-hop, but this may be the most bizarre catastrophe yet. You mean to tell me that these two mature guys, fathers, and so-called businessmen were just arrested for a fight that resembled one that would have taken place in a WWE ring? Oh, and don't forget about the people that started it, because believe me, Yandy, Kendra, and Young. Before we get into the specifics of this chaotic takedown, let's be clear that Mendeecees and Kirk have never been new to drama, from financial frauds to cheating scandals. Jock was somewhere nearby, stirring the pot like it was Thanksgiving dinner. Commotion, but this time, it's more than just rumors. People are talking on the streets, the internet is trembling, and even the police had to intervene and say, enough is enough. So what exactly happened that led to them being placed in custody, having their mugshots taken, and perhaps facing some serious charges? Believe me, you'll want to grab some popcorn because this is pure reality TV gone haywire. It all began at a posh nightclub in Atlanta, of course, because it featured Kirk Frost, who has spent the last 10 years demonstrating that he is the epitome of messy. Was seen getting a bit too close to a woman who was certainly not his wife, Rashida. You would think that after all these years of humiliation, he would act a little more sensibly, but Kirk was crying, drinking, and whispering sweet nothings in full reckless mode. Mendeecees was in the same club, and let's just say, he was already in a temper. Rumor has it that he had been fighting with Yandy all day about something that happened on the Love and Marriage, but he was speaking into this mystery woman's ear as if he didn't have a whole marriage on the line. According to the hip-hop set, Yandy was still harboring some grudges about the entire phony wedding scenario from years ago. You recall that time when Mendeecees made Yandy believe they were legally married, only to discover later that the paperwork was never. Yes, definitely, she isn't forgetting, and she wasn't going to let him forget either. So Mendeecees is already annoyed as he sits in VIP trying to enjoy his evening when he notices Kirk across the room. And not just Kirk, but Kirk appears to be very at ease with someone else. Normally women, this wouldn't be M's concern, but keep in mind that these reality stars thrive on chaos, and Yandy and Rashida are close. The last thing Mendeecees needed was for Yandy to discover that he had seen Kirk crawling and remain silent. So what does Mendeecees do? Chooses to confront Kirk immediately because why not throw a little fuel to the fire? The same Mendeecees approached Kirk's section and called them out without any prior notice or buildup. And Kirk, of course, did what he always does and attempted to laugh it off. He hit Mendeecees with a typical "come on man" that was meant to make everything better. But Mendeecees wasn't having it. He began to raise his voice, saying that Kirk was out here insulting his family again and that Rashida didn't deserve this. Additionally, Kirk claps back, saying, "Man, worry about your own marriage before you start preaching to me." If you know Mendeecees, you know that was not the appropriate thing to say because, let's face it, Mendeecees is not a saint, but he should be ashamed of himself. The last thing Kirk wants is for someone to confront him about his marital problems, and that's exactly what happened. Mendeecees then lunged at Kirk, drinks flew, and security attempted to intervene, but it was already on and before anybody could intervene. Could you blink young Jock? Yes, young Jock was involved in some way, attempting to tear them apart. The reason Jock was there is a mystery that we may never fully understand, but one thing is certain, He did not improve the situation. Rather, he began to diffuse it, running his mouth about, "Man, you two need to calm down. This isn't the first time Kirk has been out here wielding," and then Dee's turned to Jock. Now, the club was in complete chaos, with people yelling, tables turning, and security straining to maintain order. And then just when it looked like things couldn't get any stranger, Kendra entered the room. Kendra should have been at home taking care of her business, but she walked right into the center of the chaos, and the expression on her face was priceless since not. I'm not exaggerating when I say that the drama went from a 10 to a 100 very quickly. Kendra lost it and began yelling and pointing fingers, not only because she saw her husband in the middle of a fight, but also because she spotted the lady Kirk had been seeing. The cops had arrived, and security could even bring things under control. That's how Kirk Frost and Mendeecees found up in handcuffs, looking like two idiots who couldn't keep their hands to themselves or their egos in check as the flashing red and blue lights filled the atmosphere in the nightclub changed from hectic to downright terrifying. People were frantically grabbing phones and recording every second, and the security staff were worn out from trying and failing to keep things under control. In the midst of all of this, Mendeecees, and as soon as those police entered the club, they took one glance at the scene, tables toppled, drinks spilled, people screaming, and realized they had serious issues on their hands. Kirk Frost was still furious and still talking trash. Began making arrests, and guess who they targeted first? That's right, Mendeecees and Kirk. Now, let's be honest, Mendeecees' heart fell when he saw those police officers approaching him. This man has endured years of legal drama, served time in prison, and was most recently on parole. Witnesses claimed that Kirk was attempting to play it cool by saying to the cops, "Come on, man, this ain't nothing, just a little misunderstanding." But Kirk still believed he could talk his way out of it, even though all he needed was to be put back in handcuffs. Weren't buying it, especially since several individuals had already informed them that Kirk and Mendeecees were the ones who initiated the altercation. Meanwhile, young Jock, who had managed to avoid handcuffs thus far, was still chatting about. Just when it looked like Kirk and Mendeecees were the only ones going down, things took an even more stunning turn because remember Kendra? Oh, and now you're locking them up for a little club drama like, sir. You literally fueled the fire. Maybe just sit this one out. While the police dealt with Kirk and Mendeecees, baby Kendra continued to rant about the woman Kirk was seeing, and she attempted to swing on her. Yes, you heard correctly. Kendra the classy composed. When the police were finished, one officer yelled, "That's it, she's coming with us too," and Kendra discovered that the lawyer had completely lost all sense of professionalism and had gone into love and hip-hop mode. Security had to stop her as she pounced toward the woman. Yandy had been watching this whole thing unfold like a movie premiere, but you know she wasn't going to let Ems go to jail without making a commotion the moment they started, so she found herself in the back of a police car next to her husband. Yandy hurried over and screamed, "Oh hell no, you guys aren't taking my husband over this nonsense." But the police weren't in the mood. One of them turned to her and said, "Ma'am, if you don't back up, you're coming too." Yandy abruptly changed course and asked, "What?" "You want to talk about her, but she knows how to pick her battles." As a result, Kirk, Mendeecees, and Kendra are currently in prison, and as you are all aware, the internet went into a frenzy as soon as those mug images were released. Memes were going viral on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. People were making fun of Kirk for cheating once more, making fun of me for being Atlanta's most unconcerned husband, and making fun of Kendra for flinging her hands like a reality star. One tweet said that Kendra was fighting with side chicks while her husband was incarcerated. Someone tells Kirk that Rashida isn't helping him this time, and speaking of Rashida, where was she during all of this? According to sources, she was at home going about her daily business, but the instant she got. Insiders claimed that Rashida snapped during the phone call regarding Kirk's detention. "Pack your bags, we're getting a divorce kind of done due to the fact that, let's be honest, Kirk has been embarrassing this woman for years, and at some point enough is enough," she said. Kirk believed that he could make things better. But it turns out that this man was contacting Rashida from jail and attempting to hit her with the same cliché arguments that he has been using for 10 years. If you're wondering what Rashida did, she hung up on him. According to insiders, she didn't even allow. If Kirk hasn't learnt by now, he never will. Now, let's return to the jail situation, where Kirk, Mies, and Kendra were sitting behind bars awaiting the charges. She said click and continued talking about her day. They were dealing with a huge list of disorderly behavior, public intoxication, disturbing the peace, resisting arrest, and Kendra, oh, she was charged with an additional assault attempt at this time, and everyone was rushing to determine who would post bail. First of all, let's just say that not everyone was feeling giving. Rumor has it that Yandy refused to post bail and that DC was immediately released. Yes, you heard correctly. She was furious and wanted him to sit in there for a short while to reflect on his behavior while Kirk was banking. Regarding Rashida's arrival, but after that phone conversation, he had to start reconsidering everything in his life. According to sources, Yeon Jock was working behind the scenes to get Kendra out of jail because, let's face it, if she had to spend even a single night there, Jock would be looking for her. Filed divorce papers the following day, but the internet was still consuming the entire issue. Fans were comparing side-by-side mugshots, reality stars were offering their opinions, and even some famous people couldn't help but join the discussion. The most shady remarks were made by 50 Cent, Yes 50, on Instagram. He wrote that Man Love and Hip Hop had more arrests than the Super Bowl, and he wasn't lying. But the judge wasn't going to let them off easy since, as you may recall, this wasn't a minor issue. When the judge saw the video footage and the witnesses from the public incident at an upscale club, the atmosphere in the courtroom abruptly altered. You could literally feel the tension shift as the judge sat with his arms crossed and his hands shaking. They said, "Oh, so this is what we're dealing with." The camera captured everything, with Kirk and messing hands, Kendra struggling against security while appearing exhausted, and the police intervening as though to break up a WrestleMania bout. If that wasn't enough, the audio captured, "Watch yourself," Kendra screaming, "I know you didn't just treat me disrespectfully like that. Oh man, this wasn't just a small bar fight anymore. You don't want these issues, bro." Kirk yelling, "You got me twisted." When the video concluded, the judge observed, "So let me get this straight. You three grown adults thought it was appropriate to turn a high-end nightclub into a WWE SmackDown event." Kirk and Kendra simply sat there, unimpressed. The quiet was deafening, and then the judge began to break it down. First, M's looked like children caught stealing candy. The judge looked him in the eyes and said, "Mr. Harris, you of all people should know better. You have legal trouble in the past. You've been on the straight and narrow. And now you're back in my courtroom for what shouldn't have been a trivial nightclub altercation while attempting to maintain composure." He said, "Your Honor," but the judge interrupted him, saying, "Oh no, it was exactly like that because I just watched the footage." Next, it was Kirk's turn. "And darling, the judge was prepared, Mr. Frost. I feel almost ashamed for you since you are a middle-aged guy who is making a commotion in clubs like a careless adolescent. And let's not forget that this whole thing began due of your careless behavior and lack of loyalty. And your total lack of self-control." Kirk had nothing to say, just sat there as if he wanted to vanish. And then Kendra, who is an attorney and is supposed to be the level-headed one because she knows the law, finally. The disappointment was genuine. "Mrs. Robinson, as a court officer, you should enforce the law, not violate it. I just witnessed you try to assault a woman in public. Do you realize how unprofessional and absurd it looks?" Kendra was crying. She was aware that she had made a mistake, but the judge decided to make the following decision based on the evidence. "Mr. Frost, you will be fined $10,000 and required to undergo obligatory anger management and infidelity counseling." Yes, you heard me say that. The judge went to Mr. Harris and said, "Given your past criminal history, I'm sending you to 30 days in county jail." Finally, Kendra, Mrs. Robinson, as a judge said, "Perhaps some time away from the nightlife will help you reflect on your choices." Legal professional, you will be placed on professional probation, fined $55,000, and compelled to complete a public misconduct rehabilitation program for your activities tonight. If you commit any more offenses, you could lose your license immediately. He was muttering something like, "This is some bull," before Yandy pushed him like, "Boy, shut up before they give you more time, Kirk." He looked ill, and his only thought was, how am I going to explain this to them? While Kirk was sitting in court looking foolish, Rashida was out there posting cryptic Instagram stories as if a queen knew when to go. Speaking of Rashida, she was 2 seconds away from having a complete meltdown. The most memorable incident was when someone altered Kirk's visage to appear on a photo of Rashida strolling. Non-negotiable fans were consuming it, and Twitter was ablaze, driving Kirk everywhere. Bro, it went from "I'm the man of the house" to "I'm in court for acting foolishly at the club. Please remove the caption, boy." Meanwhile, Yandy was out here repairing the damage by making statements such as, "We're handling everything privately as a family. M's made a mistake, and we're working through it." However, the shade came when Yandy declined an interview and stated, "Just consider how some men forget they're too old for this kind of drama," which was directed at Enz. Then there was Jock, who spent the entire night chatting about males on Instagram Live. I'm just saying that you see what happens when people don't know how to. As for Kendra's legal future, sources claim the firm released a statement essentially saying, "We do not condone unprofessional behavior lawyer talk for," so she's on tight ice. "I tried to warn them, sir, but weren't you the one talking them up?" The most humorous response came from 50 Cent, who once again shared a meme including Kirk and M's mug pictures. One remark read, "Imagine earning your law degree only to wind up on the do not hire list because you wanted to fight over Kirk Frost tragically." Love and Hip Hop Locked Up Edition is coming soon to VH1 with the caption, and to be honest, he might not be mistaken. What comes next? Kirk is trying desperately to keep his marriage intact. Mendeecees is counting down the days till he's free. Kendra is hoping her legal career endures, and Rashida, thrilled. What do you guys think? Is this the end of Kirk and Rashida? Is Kendra going to lose her job? Is Mendeecees actually going to spend 30 days in jail for a fight at the club? Let's discuss it in the comments section, and don't. You have complete mayhem, M behind bars, Kirk being humiliated, Kendra battling for her profession, and Rashida regaining her peace like a genuine queen. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell because, baby, this tea is still boiling there. The actual question is, who is truly at fault in this case? Was Kirk just being Kirk and finally receiving what he deserved? Or should Ems have left instead of yelling? And did Rashida simply toss away her entire argument? It went from a nasty club brawl to a full-blown legal disaster very quickly. Career over a man who continues to disgrace her despite the controversy. One thing is certain, love and hip-hop never let you down when it comes to disaster. But this may be the most outrageous scandal to date, and you all know that there will be more fallout from it. Are breakups imminent? Litigation, or even a last-minute cast meeting on VH1? So please let me know which side is. Is Rashida finally finished with? Kendra's career is done with Kirk Forel, and do you guys believe that I merit the 30-day punishment, or did the judge act too harsh? Leave a comment with your ideas, because I must hear your opinions. Additionally, don't forget to please like this video and follow the channel. And press that alert bell because this tea is still steaming hot, baby. I have more exclusives coming, you know. Your manner.